Hello, and welcome back to Two Bald Dads. You're back with the dads for another huge, big episode. My name's Chris. I'm joined, as always, by Matt. Welcome, Matt.
Chris, all business I'm
not mucking around today, Matt.
You don't have another rant for us,
do you? No, I'm not. Yeah, you know why I'm going real quick today, Matt? You know why? Because it's chilly, okay? A cold snap has come over our beloved city of Sydney, and we've had temperatures almost hitting single digits.
Yeah, almost. We haven't quite got there yet.
We've dropped, temperatures have plummeted to about 10 degrees Celsius, and we're chilly willy, Matt.
For the most part, it's been the mid-teens.
Yeah, during the day, but of an evening.
Yeah, no one would understand the coldness we're experiencing.
People don't
right
understand.
Now. And exponentially made worse by the fact that we don't have hair on our heads.
Yes, that's why we have beanies.
That's why we have beanies on.
That's why we have beanies. I mean, that being said, though, great time of year to wear our beanies.
Yes, because you can wear it and no one thinks that guy's just trying to cover his bald head.
Yeah, that's
Everyone just goes, that guy's cold.
That guy's chilly willy, and we are.
Yeah,
so,
and you got to pull it down real low.
Yeah,
so no one
they can't see the. Yes, yeah, 100%. And we've been doing this for a few seasons now, Matt. So this isn't our first.
I love winter.
Yeah,
I love winter.
You know why I love winter? Because not only can we cover our bald heads, but we can also cover our
disappointing bodies. Yeah, it leaves, like in summer, you're leaving nothing to the imagination there. Your awfulness is out in all its glory.
Yeah, 100%. Winter is our season, Matt. I mean,
it's the bald man season.
It is the bald fat man season, isn't it? Yeah. People go, is he fat or is that just a puffy jacket he's wearing?
And then you go inside and take it off. He's incredible. He's actually
fat.
Just fat.
No, but that's fine. But Matt, we are, as I said, we've hit a cold snap, and again, people who aren't here living this cold snap probably wouldn't appreciate it. All those people in their, live in their warmer climates like Europe,
exactly, Canada,
they wouldn't understand what we're going through.
Antarctica. Do we have many listeners in Antarctica?
I doubt it. No, well, according to my location, there is one, actually.
That seems very legitimate.
And a big shout out to those guys who are tuning in every week. But look, Matt, like I touched on, we've got a big show.
It seems like we have a big show every week, Chris.
100% we do, Matt. And this is what we like to keep it. Unfortunately, we've gone to the stratosphere with this show, and now we have to try to maintain that. Do you know how hard that is to maintain?
We're trying to deliver total stratisfaction every week in and week out.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
And this is why they pay me the big bucks.
And here we are again in the stratosphere after that. We've done it again.
But look, so this is episode 18.
Old enough to drink.
Barely legal. Yes. Okay, well done, Matt. Well done. But we've talked about the pipeline, and these next couple of episodes, we've got some big things coming.
We can almost guarantee it.
What's the next thing after the stratosphere, Matt?
The nanosphere.
I don't think that's it at all. But very good.
I think it just goes space after that.
I thought you were a geologist. I thought you knew this stuff.
I think we just go space. I think it goes stratosphere, space, the universe, heaven.
Stratosphere. Oh, okay. Very biblical. But do you want to kick us off, Matt?
Do you think we're going to heaven?
I would be very surprised if we went to heaven.
I'll jot that down.
A couple of real turds.
I've actually this is the first week that I've had a notepad, so now I can jot down all that stuff.
According to South Park, it's actually the Mormons that are going to heaven.
Okay, that's good. So, that's good to know.
And a big shout out to all our listeners in Utah.
Yeah, Salt Lake City, baby. Chris, what I want to touch on first, it's been a while, but we do have a social media update. We've had a good friend of the show, a fan of the show, a brother of the show, and more accurately, a cousin of mine get in touch.
Very specific.
Now, I won't give away who he is.
Yeah.
We've shrouded his name in secrecy. Obviously, it's Kirk Muglis.
Kirky Muglis. He's back, baby.
He is back, and he's gotten in touch, I'm assuming it's in regard to our Best TV Dads episode. If it's not in regard to that,
it's a random message.
It's a very random message and a very big coincidence. But he's actually stated that the dad from Bluey is one of the best TV dads. Now, Chris, I know you, out of principle, don't watch Bluey, so you wouldn't be aware of this dad.
I don't think it's diverse enough for 2021.
Is that right?
I think my standpoint. I don't think there's enough multiculturalism in that cartoon dog show.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of dogs upset about it too, unfortunately. But you just have to roll with the punches these days. So
what's the dad's name in that?
I can't remember.
Oh, he wrote in the message to you.
Yeah, well,
you weren't listening.
We're filming now, so I can't check my phone.
We'll check it. Check it later.
Well, can we edit it in post?
No, we can't. Yeah. Well, how about I'll put it down the bottom of the screen.
Flashing.
Yeah, flashing. Kirk Muglis's message with his handle so people can add him on Insta.
I think it is at Kirk Muglis.
But there's been some issues around Bluey, and we've been deliberately trying to avoid bringing it up because it's a fairly controversial topic.
And we like to touch on the big topics. If we see a big one, we touch a big one.
Yeah, we do. But by the same token, Matt, we also shy heavily away from the big topics.
I mean, famously throughout our podcast history, we have sat on the fence about many topics.
About everything. Everything. Because we
often contradicting ourselves in the process.
We often we start to have an opinion on something, then quickly retract our opinion.
Well, that's the thing. You can never have the wrong opinion if you don't have an opinion.
So a little backstory to this, I guess, if you will, Matt.
Okay.
There was someone, a local Australian writer, if you will, has written an article about Bluey, slamming
the lovable dog cartoon.
Our favourite cartoon, Bluey, Bluey the blue cattle dog. Literally a cartoon, very Australian.
Bit of Australiana for you.
Bit of Australiana, and it's funny. I think it's a bit of a lull. I think it's a bit of fun. However, and now this is a bunch of dogs hanging out, talking to one another.
Are you calling the journalist that, or are you saying you're explaining the show?
Explaining the show. But some journalist has called it out, and I pray that this email was heavily not email, like this article.
A bit of satire, you reckon?
Was heavily tongue-in-cheek. I would hope, Matt. But the article essentially read that the show lacked diversity. It lacked multiculturalism. It lacked dogs with disability, dogs of colour, dogs of
all the different
something
ones.
Else. And I beg the question, maybe it could just be a fun dog show that doesn't have any, like it's not trying to be
just a bit of fun.
It's not trying to appease everyone. It's just a dog playing. Essentially,
a cartoon can't be all things to all people. And let's just be clear that the Two Bald Dads podcast sits firmly on the fence about this topic.
So if you agree with this article,
if you agree with it, that's your prerogative as well.
I can't stress enough that I can't stress enough that these issues do not belong in my child's TV show. Again, still sitting on the fence, but
exactly.
I can't help but feel that this reporter, if you would call them that, Matt, this dog.
And again, look, we're not here, and I've said it before, we're not trying to yuck someone's yum. And if that's your yum, well, then you're dumb.
But all I'm saying to this reporter is, shove it up your ass, all right? Let me enjoy my show without you ramming your political opinions down my throat. But other than that, I sit on the fence on this.
I'm making a note here that says, talk to legal thing. Look, but anyway...
But moving on, Matt.
Thanks, Kirk, for getting in touch and sparking off that riveting debate. Chris, you were famous at high school from being on the debating team.
I was.
But mostly debating about maths.
I knew that was coming, Matt. And that's maths debating. Oh,
I've got you there. But Kirk got in touch with us at our Instagram at twobalddads_pod. So thanks very much, Kirk. And if you'd like to get in touch with us, please hit us up at our email at twobalddads69@hotmail.com or twobalddads_pod, or as we've said in our faces, order Chris's mobile number, which is 04.
Stop giving out my mobile number.
Okay,
but Chris, I really like the in the faces one. Yeah, that's actually really nice.
Especially if you get right in our faces.
Right in my face. And tell me how much you hate my opinion on that.
Exactly.
The Bluey article.
Well, I think we might have a few of those coming, Chris. But Chris, we're here for some dad moments. People were dying week to week. They just get a little taster of our lives.
Yeah.
A little hors d'oeuvres, if you will. And now that they want a canapé or a canape.
Okay.
As the French say.
So
Chris, what is your dad moment this week? Hit me with your rhythm stick, Mr. Rhythmman.
Well, I've just got a little dad moment that happened to me this morning. I had a couple of things jotted down that happened to me throughout the week.
You don't have to lie. to make me think like you had something before this morning.
Much prior to this morning.
I had so many things to talk about.
Matt, my son's up and about. He's getting up early and things like that. My wife, we alternate on a weekend, Saturday and Sunday. We have turns. You have a sleep in, I have a sleep in one day. So if he wakes up, it doesn't matter what time, wakes up, one person gets him on the Saturday. We normally agree on the evening before. You take him downstairs so the other person can have an extra hour or so of sleep. It's amazing. Great little compromise that we have together. This morning was my little sleep in. Now, I didn't have a big one last night or whatever, but it's just good to have that. Just a
bit of a refresh, bit of you time.
My wife got my son up and let him come into the room to greet me. And I said, it's nice to get a cuddle in the morning. It's really nice. However, on my side of the bed, I was snoozing. I didn't even hear him yelling or whatever to wake up. I keep the remote on my side of the bed because my wife turns the TV on, falls asleep immediately. I then have to get the remote.
It's a classic, isn't it?
Turn the TV off. Yeah. So it quite often ends up on my side of the bed. My son grabbed my remote and jammed it firmly into my mouth. Like if that is not a rude shock to kick off.
That's an aggressive way to wake up, isn't it? That is an aggressive way to wake up.
You should have seen how happy he was about it. He thought it was the greatest thing in the world, and I was like, I said, son, I said, mate, this is not good.
This is not on. This is not
ideal. This is not how your father wants to be woken up of a morning.
Yeah, that's good. I've experienced similar things where my son, obviously famously bald, he will walk up next to the bed and just wind up and slap me on the head. Again, not a super nice way to wake up.
But it's never not funny. It's never not funny. If it's not you getting slapped in the head.
It's good because it's like I can be more mad at my wife for letting it happen. And I'm looking for any opportunity to have something over it.
Yeah. No, look, that was it. I just share a little, that little moment that me and my son had this morning. And I guess you could say, Matt, he was really in control of that situation.
God damn it. God damn it. Damn it. No, but Chris.
But over to you, Matt.
I would have loved to see that. That's a great dad moment of the week. Yeah. Finally, your son's trying to get one back on you after all of the abuse you've put him through. Look, my dad moment of the week is a little sweet this week, a little bit of a sweet treat.
Okay, yeah.
It's like a chocolate fondant of dad moments of the week this week.
So it's not a canape anymore.
It's not a canape. We've gone to dessert.
Okay. Wow.
It's a fondue. Ooh. A dessert fondue.
Okay, all right.
Anyway. So we, for the longest time, long-time listeners of the show will remember that last season my wife was really rubbing it in about the fact that my son would say mum first. Now, I very much debated that. I masturbated that as well. I debated on mass.
Okay. You crunched the numbers on that?
I crunched the numbers and I thought, no, he was saying in succession.
Okay.
Which to the untrained ear sounds like mum.
Mum. Yeah.
Anyway,
mum.
Also, he wasn't aware. He didn't have the wherewithal to know what mum meant. I think it was just a natural thing. Mm-hmm. I've hit back in a big way. Okay. I've copped the first I love you.
Wow.
So
that is big, Matt.
It's big news. It's big news. And not only that is, oh God, that's unsettling. People listening on Spotify, Chris is putting on lip balm in front of me. From what I can only see is a watermelon lip smacker.
My lips are so dry from this change of weather.
Isn't it? I tell you what, that sure is unsettling.
Tune into the YouTube.
Sorry if you are watching.
Yeah. I can imagine people turning off immediately in discomfort.
God, that's awful.
Go ahead, Matt.
I've very much lost my place now, but yeah. So what I'm saying is he's a lot more sentient now. It's like the rise of the machines.
Of course, yes.
But he will say
rise of the planet of the apes.
Exactly. Yes. He says, "Love you, Daddy."
Yeah.
But it's more along the lines of a nanny.
Okay.
But if we try and get him to say nanny about mum, he won't do it.
Yeah. But he will say nanny
yeah.
to you.
Yes, he will.
Is that how he sounds?
That is how he sounds.
Okay.
But, you have to, like when they start talking, you have to do a bit of creative listening.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a creative guy, but I just think I've really fired back. Now, while she's gone from 30 to love to 15,
yeah,
I've just won Wimbledon.
Okay. Is that how it works?
And as they say in the tennis world, Chris, hole in one.
Yeah. Game, set, mate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's my dad moment of the week.
Congratulations,
Thank you.
That's really exciting.
I've copped the first I love you. As a person incapable of feeling love myself, unfortunately not able to say it back.
Yeah.
I don't feel comfortable with it.
No. Rightfully so. I mean,
everything I've ever loved has left me.
If you want to train your child to be hard and steadfast like you, then you can't be weakening him with love.
Exactly. What I usually do is when he does say it to me, I turn my back on him and scoff.
Yeah. Very good. Mate. Very nice. I was like, yeah, you love a man.
Yeah.
Which is totally fine.
Which is fine. But Chris, that's my dad moment of the week. Look, a bit of a change of pace there.
That's nice. That's really nice.
Last week I was ripping into the Moro eater.
Yeah.
I will just say we haven't had anyone get in touch, say that they eat Moros, and I can say I'm not surprised.
Because either A, they don't eat it, or B, if you do eat it, you're embarrassed by it, and there's no way you get in touch with someone.
If you're eating a Moro, look, and I don't want to go back over an old topic, but if you're eating a Moro, you wouldn't know what a podcast is because you're stupid.
Yeah. Well, you wouldn't know how to figure it out.
No.
You wouldn't know how to Bluetooth it to your cars.
Exactly. All you know how to do is open your stupid Moro and eat it.
Yeah. Well, I imagine the person who wrote the Bluey article was eating a Moro bar and having a giant can
driving
of
at the
Red Bull.
Eating a giant can of dog food.
But Matt, look, we have a lot to cover.
We've got a lot to cover.
So this week, our topic of the week, guys, is essentially, I don't know how to name it. We'll think of a name later. But it's basically...
We'll tidy it up in post.
Things our kids will never understand or appreciate. And it's not their fault. It's just the way technological advances have progressed. Kids are super lucky in the fact that they have technology, and unlike what we had. Now, and then this is a knock-on effect. Our parents say the same thing. My father, which my grandfather told me was, in fact, a lie, but my dad said he used to walk for 30 miles every day.
I used to hear that too.
He used to throw rocks at the coal train that would drive past, so the coal driver would throw coal back at him so that they could light the fire. These sorts of stories, to which I later found out were not accurate representations of my father's childhood.
Absolutely not. It doesn't seem like it.
But we can always exaggerate, and that's a bit of fun.
That is, and I feel like we will do the same thing.
100%. But there are certain things that we've grown up with that our kids...
they'll just have no context for. No context at all.
Like, it's even like kids nowadays don't know what, like, a landline or, like, what a home phone is now.
Exactly.
Right? Because they've never... And why would they? Like, in the last 10 years or something like that.
We're moving into a new house. We've opted for no landline. And
why would you need one?
Why would you need one?
You
know who has a landline still? My parents.
Actually, my parents don't anymore.
Oh, they got rid of it.
So progressive.
It's so progressive. But my parents and my lovely wife's parents, they both have landlines. Mm-hmm. They have it, but
no one ever calls it.
No one. You know who calls it?
Yeah.
My grandparents.
Yeah.
That's who calls the landline.
And look, and they will never appreciate that parent picking up the phone and going 6193, hello.
Which is obviously just a random number.
That's a random number I've just made up. Yeah. Don't dial that one.
Yeah, don't. As a kid, you'll never have to experience calling the house phone and getting stuck talking to like the parent.
Yeah.
And you have to like make small talk, which I'm terrible at, until it's not rude to be like, hey, can I speak to Chris?
Yeah.
I was usually calling for other members of your family, but they would put me on to you.
Eventually.
Because you were the only one available.
Yeah. I'm available. Is that mad, is it? Like, don't put me on the phone to him. It's true. Calling the home phone and being like... So, like, and then we talk about... So, we had mobiles, in our high school days. Like, they were real early stages. But, like, our parents talk about meeting someone at the pub. Like, you talk about meeting someone at the pub or meeting someone out. Hey, guys, we're going for dinner at 7. And you'd write a letter to someone and dinner's at 7 on Saturday evening at this place. And then you just all turn up and hope everyone gets there.
I reckon I've made plans, right? I can't think of a time that I have made plans and then just as I was leaving called someone to make sure we're all still going.
Yeah.
Or like
I walk into a pub and call you guys straight away. Are you guys here? Whereabouts? Where am I walking to? Because I don't want to walk around like an idiot.
Yeah. And it is a wild thing to be like, hey, in 2 weeks, let's catch up.
Yeah.
And then everyone comes.
Yeah. And everyone just turns up.
That is weird.
That is weird. It's weird to think about. But hey, they did it, you know. They did it. We used to do it. We were at the dawn of the internet. We experienced the dawning of the internet.
Yes. I remember when the internet came on a CD that I had to load into the computer.
What about the you used to have the the Wikipedia or the encyclopedias. The encyclopedias that used to have a CD-ROM and you used to put it in, then search what it is you want. Like again, so great. So much better now. So much better.
Yeah, I mean, we used to have an encyclopedia at home, right? This is before we had the computer. And if I had to do a project or something or homework, it was like consult the encyclopedia. If the encyclopedia that you have at home didn't cover that topic,
you're screwed.
It's like it can only cover so much stuff.
Yeah. It's so true. It's so true. But I mean, we talk about the internet. You talk about the dial-up ringtone.
The dial-up ringtone.
Now, again, our younger listeners here, our 25 and under, are scratching their heads here, going, "What on earth is a dial-up ringtone?" Now, I can't make the noise, and I'm not even going to try.
Well, you are good at accents, Chris. I think you would be doing yourself and the listeners a disservice if you didn't try that.
It was the most random bunch of collective of noises.
And it was awful.
It was very unpleasant. But it's what you had to do to dial up to the internet. And you'd dial in, and then the minute I'd get a phone call, Mum would get a phone call, I'd be kicked off the internet. And I was like, this house is a prison.
Oh, God.
Why do people call our house at 8 o'clock in the evening?
Yeah, and it better be a good call off that one, because if you're spending your time doing whatever on ICQ on the internet,
that's it,
and then you get kicked off, you're furious.
Yeah, that's it.
But Chris, I was born with a silver spoon in my mouth.
Yes, of course, of course.
Which I have kept a trait I have kept alive. Famously jammed a silver spoon into my son's mouth.
And you've been very quiet and humble about it, too. No one ever noticed.
We actually had our internet come through a fax line.
Yeah, wow.
So for some reason, which is unbeknownst to me, we had a fax machine at home. At that stage,
how many faxes were you getting? Though?
I don't think we ever got a fax. Like, why would you need? Anyway, I don't know. But
you had a fax machine.
We had a fax machine, so. The good part was that no one ever sent us a fax, so our internet.
Maybe your dad got it thinking that people might be faxing him jobs through. Yeah, I mean,
this was
because your dad's a tradie or whatever.
He's a tradie. He was a white collar worker before that.
Oh, okay, right.
So this was pre tradie times.
Pre tradie life.
So we just had we were like, what if someone wants to send us a fax for what? I have no idea. I think the only fax I ever sent was like our cousin had a fax machine as well.
So you drew a picture of a dick and
exactly.
sent it to your cousin. Yeah.
Exactly.
And they're like, oh, it came through.
Oh, God. Now we have a piece of paper with a dick on it.
A dick on it that Matt drew.
Yeah, how good's that?
Look, Matt sent us this dick.
Yeah,
That's pretty good stuff. That's pretty lavish, though. And a lot of kids will not appreciate how lavish that was at the time.
Now, this leads me on to the next one. So the lucky part about that is in the 3 days that it took me to download pornography...
I had that jotted down.
I didn't get interrupted. I didn't lose service. Now, while I was on LimeWire, filling my computer with
viruses,
virus after virus after virus, to download a 30-second clip.
The computer's version of AIDS. We were literally just pumping computer AIDS into our computers while trying to download illegal music, illegal videos, and porn.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, maybe porn. I think my brothers were doing it, not me.
Hypothetically, we didn't do anything illegal.
Yeah, nothing illegal, but I mean, I can't confirm
Chris, you wouldn't steal a car, would you?
No. Very good, Matt. Very good. But we would literally download a movie on...
Of any type of
movie, perhaps. Someone would upload a movie and you could download it. Such tremendous technology.
Well, you really are an IT guy.
It would literally take a week to download this movie. And then you get to the end of the week, you're like, oh, it's finished. This is sick. My computer's but
the computer's humming and smoking.
But at least I've got the brand new, Jurassic Park movie has come out. Jurassic Park 3, The Lost World. And then so
but then it's
but then it's a crap copy of it.
I was going to say it's someone that's like filmed it. Remember that? Filmed it. So like but you couldn't preview this shit. It was like you were locked in. You were locked in. Like piracy kids these days don't know how easy how easy they have it. Like, sure, you meant to go to the Pirate Bay allegedly a few times and a few different sites because they get shut down. But at least these things don't absolutely ruin
like
you.
the Pirate Bays and stuff like that had like ratings, so you could download one and goes, yeah, good quality, bang, and then all right, sweet, I'll get that one. It was Russian roulette.
Yeah.
So again, riddling your computer with with all sorts of issues. Yeah. But then you get a video and then you're like, oh, it's crap.
Piracy has come a long way since the 17 and 1600s.
Yeah. Is that all there is to that, Matt?
Well, I'm just saying it really has. I mean, swashbuckling.
Yeah.
And now, we're swashbuckling in our own ways.
We are. But I think, and look, and I know we're only going to touch on this, and there's so many more things that people are going to think of. They're like, what about this? What about this? Because there's so many things that kids won't ever get or understand, right?
What else you got there?
So the other one I had was printing out directions to somewhere. So back when the internet was at its early stages, you could get directions on how to get somewhere. So you could get directions, and then it would say turn right onto this street, go through the roundabout, go left on the step by step on how to get there, right? So you'd print that out, and you'd have like, hopefully, if it was close by, it's only one page. Otherwise, you have like 3 pages.
Multiple, like if you're driving to Queensland.
You have like 3 pages on how to get there, and you're like, oh. So you literally sit while you're driving, and then you're flicking through your page, and like, all right, I'm left onto this street. And
especially if you're driving solo, like...
Oh, it'd be awful. It was awful, like, the few times you had to do it. But this is why our dads were so good at giving us in-depth directions, and they still do it.
No, still do it.
Give us in-depth directions, and you're like, no, it's fine, Dad. It's just going on the phone now.
But yeah, they're definitely, they're firmly in the past with that, because I'll be like, oh, yeah, what suburb is it in? So, like, when I Google it, I know I've got the right one.
Yeah.
Because if you're like finding a cafe, it could be called something else anyway. And then they're like, so what you do is you turn left here. I'm like, no, that's fine. I'll Google it. But they don't hear that. And they just keep going and go. And it's one of their favourite things to do. And I've just learned now, you just got to let them go. My dad's a fiend for like, because I'll often call him for handyman advice if you're not available. And he'll explain to me how to do it, but then explain it 3 times the same.
The same way.
Again, so he'll be like, you just hang this up, put that in, screw that in, and you're good to go. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, okay, yeah, sounds good. He goes, yeah, so when you get it, just hang it up, put that in, and then screw it in, and you're good to go. I'm like, yeah, no, like, yeah, got sweet. It, yeah. And he goes, yeah. So, yeah, just so you know, and I'm like, no, Dad. Like, honestly, I'm probably going to Google it anyway. But I appreciate that as a starting point.
But talking about the directions, though, prior to the printing out the directions, which was lavish, which was a lavish time to be alive. A lot of people won't realise. And we had Gregory's, and I'm led to believe in different states that had different ones? I'm sure it's different overseas, obviously. But we called it the Gregory's because it was the Gregory's Street Directory, right? So this was literally like A4 page of street directory.
It was like as thick as a Bible.
It was.
And you know how I know that, Chris? Because I read the Bible.
Okay, all right. Very biblical today, mate.
No, it is the Lord's Day.
But you would literally be like, all right, so you're crossing over one page, so you think, oh, it's on the next page. It's not. It's like 100 pages down. You're like, oh, God.
And it's like so zoomed in. It was like so hard to read.
Yeah.
So you'd be sitting there and like you've got to turn it the way that you're driving and stuff. Remember that? Because you're like, oh, I'm not going this way now.
Yeah. You have to turn it so you flip it upside down so you're heading south.
Exactly. But it was like, you get in trouble these days, as you've seen someone watching a movie or just even glancing at your phone. Yeah. Meanwhile, you're like, not trying to figure out where you are, where you've got to go on this like tiny map,
pages,
and still driving at the same time.
Yeah. Super hazardous.
It was super hazardous, and even worse, if you had one like a couple of years old and they'd put in a new road, well, you're f***ed.
Yeah.
Like, because it's just not on there.
Oh, what about we had like a super old one that was missing pages, and you would just hope that you're like, oh, God,
guess
please
from
don't be one of the missing pages.
So which way do we go now? It's like left. I'm assuming left, Dad, sorry. Yeah, or like, and then when we got to of age, Mum would be like, "Here, you direct me."
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? I'm 10. Yes, I'm a great mapper. Yes, but I wasn't
That's
always
where your mapping journey started from, Matt.
It was a long journey for me, and it did start with Gregory's. Then they brought out the Gregory's where it had the little gecko that you had to find on certain pages. Largely pointless. You don't remember that?
No, I don't.
Well, they did have that. I think that's when they was trying to stay relevant when they're printing off of...
Yeah, with the kids. Yeah, that's mad. No, look, well done, Matt.
Big shout to Gregory's, though. How are they doing?
I wonder how they're doing. I don't know. They probably should have moved to an online form.
Seems like they should have.
Hey, who are we to tell them how to run business? I mean, they did it right for many years, I'm sure.
I'm sure Gregory's are doing fine.
Well, Matt, I think we're probably... how are we looking for time?
Chris, I think we're looking all right.
Did you have anything else you wanted to touch on?
The only one I had here is that I've heard there's a story going around that somebody 3D printed out the save icon from the computer and then someone had to let them know that was a floppy disk. So, like...
Pardon?
That they've just printed out a floppy disk. So I think kids... Like, our kids will never understand that the internationally recognised save icon on, like, Word or Excel or whatever is a floppy disk.
It's a floppy disk.
Harkening back to the time.
Yeah, when you used to actually put a floppy disk in.
You have to save it onto a floppy disk. And I just thought I'd touch on that one quickly.
So someone printed one out.
Someone printed one out. Look at this. I printed out the save icon.
The save icon. And then, that's a floppy disk.
That's just a floppy disk. You could put 1.4 megabytes on it.
Yeah, it was pretty crap, wasn't it?
Pretty huge stuff. I remember the first video game I got was Lemmings, and it came on 3 floppy disks. How that worked, I'll still never know. It was a different time, Chris.
It was a different time. It was a different time, Matt. But we are, speaking of time...
Speaking of time, it is a different time now to when we started, which was half an hour ago.
And we're about out of time.
We're about out of time. But I think, look, if we come up with a few more of these, we might do another round. I think that was quite good. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, that was good.
I think nostalgia.
I think there's heaps more to go.
There's heaps more to go.
I think, guys, if anyone's listening out there and you've had a thought, honestly, don't be afraid to flick us a DM. Is that what they call it, Matt?
Yep.
Slide into our DMs. We'll probably check it at some point.
Yeah. There's no stupid DMs, just stupid people.
Brilliant. It's very encouraging to get people to get in touch. No, honestly, guys, if you can think of anything that we've missed off, which I'm sure there's heaps.
There's a ton of them. Get in touch at twobalddads69 at hotmail.com. I'll come into Savie there. I know you're not good at it.
Yeah, I don't.
Or twobalddads_pod at Instagram.edu.
I appreciate that, Matt. But Matt, before we go, before we tie bow on this, what do you got for me? Oh, look at that. He's got an acoustic joke. I've
got an acoustic joke, which kids these days will never understand.
They'll never understand. Pen and paper.
I've got a one for you. Okay, Chris.
Yes.
What's a foot long and slippery?
A Subway sandwich.
No, Chris.
Meatball sandwich.
It is a slipper. Because it's as long as a foot.
Oh, yeah,
and I drew a picture of a slipper there.
Yeah, wow. And you wrote LOL. Did you write dick sauce? What does that say?
Disc. That's my shopping list for the later. Just going to get some dick sauce.
Oh, thanks, Matt. Thanks, Matt.
So yeah, take that to your slipper store and smoke it.
Appreciate it, guys.
Wear it.
Look, guys, thanks so much for tuning in to another episode of Two Bald Dads. We'll be back next week, coming into your ear holes every Thursday morning. You can count on us being there.
Thought that was going to be better than that.
But you know what we do here? You know, the difference between ordinary and extraordinary, Matt?
Is the extra.
It's just that little extra.
Yeah, a little bit extra. Thank you. Saved it there. Chris, let's wrap this bad boy up.
Honestly, Matt. And guys, thanks so much for tuning in to another episode. My name's Chris.
My name's Matt.
And we're the Two Bald Dads. We'll see you next time.